Previously on Lost.
I just hit record so we can do a post-mortem for the 2025 Media Heights member guest.
Yeah. We didn't play awful. We never played awful.
No.
We got annihilated. We just got annihilated.
What if I told you at the beginning of the week neither of us would shoot a 38 or better on a 9?
I don't like this line of thinking because it really puts responsibility on us. And I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I don't know. The Honeybrook member guest
Yeah, 2 weeks.
is in a couple weeks, 2 weeks?
Right.
Is there time to sign up for that still?
Sign-ups aren't even open yet.
Oh.
So yes, we have...
Do we want to do that? We've talked about it a little bit, but not a lot, actually.
Probably. Do we want to field this again?
Hey, welcome to the Back Chatter Podcast, and welcome back to Member Guest Season. I'm Bryan, and in a moment, you'll also hear the voice of my co-host Adam as we dive into part 2 of this 2-part Member Guest podcast. But before we get to that, a quick recap from our performance in the Media Heights Member Guest in part 1.
You stink.
What do you mean I stink?
Yeah, we stunk. But 2 weeks later, we showed up at the Honeybrook Member Guest, hoping for some redemption. Now, in case you're new around here, I was a member at Honeybrook from 2017 to 2024, so it is far and away the place I have played the most golf in my life. The same could probably be said for Adam, too, who worked at Honeybrook 7 years ago and has been a member for the last 3 years since moving back from Colorado. We are both very comfortable at Honeybrook, but the same could be said for all the folks teeing it up there. It's a fantastic place to play golf, a lot of fun members, and a very fun golf course. This year's member guest featured 22 teams split into 4 flights, with the top and bottom flights being short 1 team, meaning you need to play against par for one of your 5 9-hole matches. Now, unlike at Media Heights, where you played off of your low handicap from the last year, this event would be played at our current handicaps of 8 and 3. Adam and I were right smack in the middle of Flight 1, and while we weren't able to make the practice round on Thursday, we showed up on Friday morning feeling good about competing on our old stomping grounds. As we loaded up in the cart before our first match, I turned my phone on to get some audio, and I caught Adam mid-sentence making an early prediction.
Oh, sorry. We're going to win, Bryan. That wasn't meant for the mic, but that shows you how confident I am. Off mic, I'm telling you, we're going to do well.
Yeah. I caught it. I'm not thinking that far ahead, but I love that you are. That's the mindset I need you in. That's what I need from you.
I'm not taking this thing 54 holes at a time. Okay, I want you to know that.
Yeah.
I am speaking things into existence.
I kind of know what your answer to this is, but I like the question anyway. Do we get more points on day 1 than we got the entirety of the Media Heights member guest, which was 17.5?
It's in play. It's definitely in play.
I mean, I was thinking, in my head, I was like, what if we go some combination of 4.5, 5, 6.5? Which I don't even know if we'd count that a good day. That's 17 points.
Right. Yeah, I think
16 points.
16 points.
So will we get to 17.5 today?
Let's just 8-2 people and get most of the way there right there. You
Okay.
know, let's just have 16 for 2.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. But
no, it's very windy out here. We're playing against some good golfers. We're playing on our actual handicaps versus the last one, which I do love. But either way, we still got to play. Do you remember, we just talked about this 10 minutes ago on the range. Do you remember your mantra for me today, what you're going to remind me?
Your mantra, Bryan, is enjoy your life.
I love that.
Enjoy your life. You were telling me that you've been trying to slow down your backswing a little bit. And so if I see you getting a little quick, a little hurried, I'm going to say, Bryan, enjoy your life.
I love that. And do you want to know what my mantra for you is today?
Mm-hmm. I want to know.
Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life.
It's the same one. If you get frustrated with even 2 bad holes in a row,
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter in this format. So snap out of it. Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life. I repeated it over and over again as we walked to the first tee, partly as a joke, but also because I kind of liked what it represented. Meanwhile, Adam wrote EYL on his golf ball. As for me, like he said, the tempo of my golf swing only has 2 speeds, fast and too fast. and usually it's set to 2 fast. But just maybe this thought during my backswing, enjoy your life, would get me to slow down enough that I could put together an entire weekend of good ball striking. And maybe the reminder that this should be fun would keep us in the right frame of mind, even if things weren't going exactly like we hoped. Starting off on the par 3 10th against Dan and Matt, I pulled a hybrid into the left greenside bunker and couldn't get up and down. Everyone else, including Adam, made par. Hole halved. On 11, Adam and I both made par, but I was stroking, and that gave us a 1-point lead. Adam and Matt both birdied 12, and then everyone made par on 13. Our lead was still 1 heading into Amish corner. On 14, needing a par to have the hole, I hit a long birdie putt from about 40 feet to steal a point. And then on 15, when Dan's half stroke gave him a 5 for 4.5, I needed to make my 6-foot par putt to win the hole with a 5 for 4. I did. I made an ugly bogey on 16, but Adam made a routine par to pick me up and halve the hole, and that gave us a 5-2 lead with 2 holes left.
You know what I smell, Adam?
Sorry about that.
I smell ham and eggs.
Ham, eggs, beer. We're playing well.
Yeah.
We're playing well.
I'm taking advantage of my strokes. You're picking me up when I'm not doing that. When I don't
An
need
even
it.
par on my ball. You got to be close to that.
Yeah.
We're doing well. We got 2 holes to play. We've already won the match.
Yeah.
We're off to a hot start. Let's finish hard here and pile on.
Love that. And let's enjoy our lives.
Let's enjoy your life.
Hole 17 was halved with pars, and my par on 18 gave me a 4 for 3.5 because of the half stroke I was getting. If Matt missed his 12-footer he had for birdie, we'd win 7.5 to 2.5 and be off to an amazing start. Unfortunately, Matt's birdie putt never left the center of the cup, the only hole they beat us on. Final score of match 1, 6.5 to 3.5. Winning match 1 was a huge improvement on our performance at Media Heights 2 weeks earlier, but I did feel a little deja vu 2 holes into match 2. Not only did we lose the last hole of the first match to a birdie in both events, but we also lost the first 2 holes of match 2 in both events, this time to a par and a birdie. Down 2 points to 0 in match 2, I put together a really good stretch of golf, playing the last 7 holes of that match at 1 over par. Adam had a few pars in there as well, but when he bogeyed, I came through. We went into 9 up 4.5 to 3.5, and my 4 for 3 took the final point, giving us a match 2 6-4 win.
Right, we just finished round 2 of 5.
Yeah.
Adam, how you feeling?
Bryan, I feel great. I feel like I did when we first turned on the audio. I said, the first audio we recorded, said we're going to win. And we've done everything we need to do to win thus far.
Yeah.
Won our second match, 6-4. You came up clutch. You were getting a pop, as they say. And you won the last hole to take the match 6-4. Just huge.
Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe we were going to secure some points the previous hole. I got in for 3, and Darren had like a kind of a tricky, 12, 15 footer to have the hole, and he hit it. We've had a few long putts hit on us that I didn't think would hit.
I said that earlier as well, but there is the reality that we've made some long putts.
Yeah.
You poured in a couple, I poured in a couple.
Yeah, it's true.
We're playing well, I feel like. I struggled at the end of that second 9, but you picked it up, and so overall, I think we're right where we need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel good. We are at 12.5 points right now. If we only just tie our last match, that gets us to 17.5. Our total at media.
We will get our total at media in the first day of the Honeybrook member guest.
And we're playing against par because we're missing a team in our flight. It's been a while since I've done that. Do people typically find that harder than playing against an opponent?
I think as a general rule, people don't do as well.
Yeah.
Like in our first match, we would have done well.
Yeah.
I don't know how we would have done in that last one.
I guess you don't get really any gifts is the thing.
Yeah,
There's no blow-ups.
You gotta play well.
Yeah. All right, well, let's do it.
Okay.
Our final match of the day was playing against par on the back nine. Honeybrook sent out 2 markers to play with us. Shout out to Bryce and Barbara. And the mission was simple. Make as many pars as possible and take advantage of all the strokes you're given. I was stroking on 10, but carded a bad 3-putt bogey from the back of the green. Thankfully, Adam got up and down from the sand to earn us a half point. We were both stroking on 11 and both made par, which earned us another point. But then, things got a little dicey. On 12, Adam blocked his drive right, and I tugged mine into the left rough. We both hit okay recovery shots, but neither of us could make birdie. Then on the par 3 13th, I missed the green right and then hit 2 terrible chip shots, one duffed and one almost bladed to take me out of the hole. Adam, meanwhile, hit a fantastic chip after being just short of the green, but then missed the 4-footer and made bogey. Then on 14, Adam pulled a drive dead left directly into the woods, and then blocked his second tee ball at least 70 yards right. We couldn't find my drive up the right side either, even though we thought it might have stayed in, and I ended up making bogey. Things were not going well. The par 5 15th is the toughest tee shot at Honeybrook, and Adam opted for 2-iron, but then proceeded to block it dead right into the woods. After I put a hybrid in play, Adam re-teed and hit driver, this time hitting it so flush that it went through the fairway into a different section of woods. Earning any points on this hole would now be up to me.
4 holes left in our last match. Adam, explain what's happening right now.
I have just lost. I don't know if I'm tired. I don't know if I'm doing something horrible mechanically. I'm not shanking the ball or anything. I have lost face control for 2 holes now to an unbelievable level. Like, I have hit some, and I had a couple weird ones earlier, but I wouldn't string them together.
Right.
And now I'm like, so I just hit a driver dead left.
Yeah.
Then hit one that went 45 degrees right. I mean, I missed 80 yards right. 80 at least.
Yeah.
And then now, I got out here on the par 5, hit a 2-iron, which I was hitting great earlier, dead right.
Yeah.
Just dead right. And then, so I don't have any clue what's going on.
Yeah. I feel like I've lost a little bit of focus or confidence or something. I don't know. A few holes ago, I hit 2 bad chips in a row. And then on Amish Corner 14, I lost one. Thought was maybe going to be up, but it wasn't. So, got a little bit of work to do. We gotta finish strong, or we're gonna be kicking ourselves.
My second shot on 15 was another decent hybrid, but my approach into the green was thin and a little long, coming to rest in the rough just long of the green, leaving me a 75-foot downhill chip. I have this shot, I told Adam as we walked up to my ball. I know you do, he told me, reminding me that with my stroke, an up and down here would earn us a full point. I appreciated his encouragement, and I clipped a great chip that trundled down to about 5 or 6 feet, and then I knocked in the putt. I don't know if he would agree, but I felt like that was a huge moment for us, giving us back some of the momentum we had lost. Adam immediately proceeded to hit huge par putts for us on back-to-back holes to earn us another point, and then I took advantage of my stroke on the last to make it a 4 for 3, giving us a 6-4 victory over par. I left the course about a half an hour later, not knowing where we stood, but assuming we were in first place in our flight. On our drives home, Adam and I exchanged messages.
All right, debriefing on member guest day 1, and I still don't know what the actual standings are. I feel like we're in a crowded flight where last place is probably at 14.5 points, and there's a chance we might be in first place at 18.5. So we put ourselves in a good position. Obviously a lot of work yet to do, but man, I am so proud of the way we played today. That first 18 was my best 18 of the year that I've played. Hashtag enjoy your life. That was a huge mantra for me today. Yeah, I don't know how slow my backswing actually was, but it felt a lot slower, and I hit a lot of good shots in that first 18. I shot 74
it's a match play 74, so there's probably a few 4-footers in there I didn't have to putt because you were already in. But regardless, it's not a postable 74, but it felt like a 74 because I played well. But then the last 9, I didn't play quite as well, and like almost every time I needed you to pick me up, you did. We had two bad holes in that last 9, 13 and 14. Honestly, that like 3.5, 4-footer you missed on 13 felt like the only one of those that either of us missed all day. But then you bounced back and hit 4-footers on 16 and 17 that we absolutely needed. And that was huge. Yeah, you hit some of the wonkiest golf shots I've ever seen today. I don't even the first 9, which we won 6.5, 3.5. Dude hits that guy Matt hits like a 15-foot putt on the last hole to keep us from winning 7.5, 3.5. That hurt. But that was some of the smoothest swings I've ever seen you make. Like, and I told you that, and I know that was part of your goal going in, but you were just swinging so easy, and like you were hitting the ball so well in that first 9. I don't know what changed in the last 18 holes. You had a bunch of good shots in those last 18 holes, but then you also had like two of the weirdest drives I've ever seen you hit. The one on 6 that went like 100 yards forward and 200 yards right. It was the weirdest. It wasn't even a banana slice. It was like a trick shot almost. And then that dead pull you had on 14 was just bizarre as well, which you then followed up with a crappy one. There might have been 1 or 2 other really strange shots in there. And then on 15, the bad 2-iron. But overall, you hit the ball amazing. And I was like looking through the scorecards, and I feel like there was 8 or 9 times where I made bogey or worse, and we were going to lose the hole if you didn't step up. And I think like 5 of those times you did. So it was awesome. That's what you got to do to be at the top of your flight after day 1. I don't know if we're at the top. I think we are, maybe near the top. I know we'll know for sure here in an hour or 2, but it was probably my best golf of the year, which I was happy about. I think there were 10 holes where I was getting a pop or a half a pop, and I won 8 of those holes. So, even though I don't always love the handicap format, the net format, when that's the game you're playing, and when you get the pops, you got to take advantage of them. And I felt like I did that pretty well today. So I was happy about that because, when you don't do that, you feel like you let down the team a little bit. Anyway, I'm feeling great. I don't know what swing's going to be there tomorrow. I don't know if Enjoy Your Life is going to work like it did today. Just slowing down that tempo on my backswing. But let's do it again. Let's enjoy life tomorrow, and let's make a run at this thing. How are you feeling?
So I have some updates, okay? So first of all, just a great day. Just a really, really good day of golf. Everything that the Media Heights member guest was not, the Honeybrook member guest has been thus far. I have some standing updates. We are the leaders in our flight. So we are in first at 18.5, and then JK and his team is at 17.5, only 1 point behind us. And then Warren Rayburn is at 15.5. So we are 1 point ahead of second, 3 points ahead of third with 2 matches to play. And we are playing the Wrens tomorrow. RJ's an incredible player, but playing off a very low handicap and not playing fantastic at the moment by the sounds of it. So we have a chance, up by 1, and then so we play the Wrens, and then we play our second place team, who are 1 point ahead of in our final match to try to win the flight. We've got to lay the hammer in round 1 tomorrow. We've got to. Yeah. So I am so excited. I did have some very wonky swings. It's because I'm trying some very new things that are really, really working when they work, but I haven't figured out the, I have not figured out what to do when they go wrong yet. So I'm doing this thing that I've never done where I close my body and address a little bit more, and I'm swinging easier, and I've always been like a very high swing speed guy. It's the same, it's barely less swing speed, but I feel like I'm swinging easy. And at one point I just completely lost face control, just in all forms. And it was rough. It was awful for a few holes. But overall, I feel like I'm trending in the right direction. I'm having a lot of very, very good holes. And I'm excited. I feel like we're going to play well tomorrow. I feel like we're exactly where we need to be. The one thing I remember saying before the Media Heights member guest, I said, really what matters is playing well enough today to care about tomorrow, right? And we did not do that. We did not meet that goal at Media Heights. But not only do we care about tomorrow, we are leading our flight. Tomorrow is going to be a fun day that maybe Bryan will remember. Wait for it, for the rest of our lives.
Enjoy your life. The mantra had gotten us through day 1 with the lead in our flight. And I'm not sure if my backswing was actually any slower than normal, but repeating it every time I addressed the ball made it feel like it was. It felt more controlled, and the results were there to back it up. I had played some of my best golf of the year. Same for Adam, whose swing had looked incredibly good the first 9, got a little lost in the middle, but sorted itself out in the end. Could we carry that same momentum into match 4 against loyal listener of the pod, Russ Wren, and his super talented son, RJ? From the start of the match, the answer was clear. Yes, we could. Adam won the first 2 holes without my help, and then we have the par 5 12th when RJ barely missed a 12-footer for birdie. RJ won 13 with a fantastic birdie, but then we headed to Amish Corner and Team Bag Chatter didn't look back. Adam played the last 5 holes of that match in even par, including a tap-in birdie on 15 after a filthy chip shot to inside a foot. I was also playing well, and getting a little lucky too, including the downhill, side hill 70-footer I made for birdie on 17. In the end, we probably got Russ's worst round of the weekend, and while RJ was probably only 2 or 3 over on his own ball, he couldn't overcome the strokes he was giving us. The end result was a 7.5 to 2.5 win.
Adam, let the people know what's going on.
Bryan, we got 7.5 points in our first match of day 2.
Yeah.
We now have a 3.5 point lead over second place going into our final match. We are in fantastic. So we are in fantastic shape. We could crap the bed pretty bad here and still have a chance.
Yeah.
We need to play. If we play okay, we win the flight.
Yeah.
If we play well, we win the flight by a lot.
Obviously, we want to keep momentum up. We want to keep playing well. But it is nice to know that we've got some margin. So
Yes. Yep.
we just have the first hole.
Yep. We're enjoying our life.
Enjoying your life. That's what we're doing right now. Feels good. All right, let's finish the deal here.
As we stepped on the first tee for our final match against JK and his brother Ken, we knew that a flight win was all but locked up. JK's team was in second place before round 4, but they had just taken a 3-7 loss to Team Rayburn, who was now in second place, 3.5 points behind us. Adam and I once again served up a healthy portion of ham and eggs in our final match, shooting a gross, even par better ball score that was good enough for another win. 5 matches, 5 wins. A complete reversal from 2 weeks ago.
5 matches in the books. Just signed the last scorecard, a 6-4 victory for Team Bag Chatter. Did we actually win all 5 matches?
We were 5-0.
Wow.
We didn't win less than 6 points in any match.
Yeah.
32 points.
Wow. 32 points. How'd you feel like you played today, Adam?
The best I've played all year by a lot. I had a little flash of this at the beginning of yesterday, and then it faded hard for whatever reason. I didn't even have swing thoughts. I've been closing my stance, and then I'm like, close my stance and finish your follow through. And that's like, and it's just, I just said to you, I don't remember hitting a bad shot today.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, I mean, not everything's exactly what you want, but I hit, I think I shot 72 on my own ball, and it was like every time you look up, it's just like, yeah, it's going roughly where you want it to go. And that's a good feeling. I have not had that feeling this year.
It's a good feeling. It was a feeling I had most of yesterday and most of today, honestly. I had a couple bad swings in there. Didn't quite play as well as you, but we both played well. We both did what we needed to do, and that's obviously what you have to do in a member guest. And we did it. We answered every call. We got a few gifts here and there, but we rarely gave gifts to other teams. We just were solid. So I'm proud of that.
That is what we've been doing here. I asked you at one point, can you remember how many times we both made a bogey on a hole? And in how many holes did we just play? 45?
Yeah.
In 45 holes, how many times did we both make a gross bogey?
Yeah.
It's like, I can think of 2.
Yeah, it's probably 3 or 4, honestly.
And it's like we've been a tough out every single hole.
Yeah.
We have not given people gifts.
So goal 1 was to just make Saturday interesting, and we checked that off yesterday. Yeah. Goal 2 was to get into the shootout, and though it's not official yet, the second place team in our flight would have to 10-0 the other team to leapfrog us.
To beat us by half a point.
So,
and I'm not sure that's ever happened. So, so if it happens, we know that there was money involved.
There will be a full investigation. That will be Adam's next documentary. Will be what happened at the 2025 member guest. So I guess me bringing that up is saying, like, we've now achieved both of our goals. We have got to the shootout, and there's one more goal ahead of us. There is golf left to be played.
We are going to be one of the final 5 teams vying for the championship.
Yep.
There are going to be there's going to be a throng of golf carts.
Yep.
Watching us play alternate shot golf.
Yep.
Within a short time here.
Yeah, it's hole 11, hole 12, hole 17, hole 18. Meaning, and we've already talked about it. You're going to lead us off. Mm-hmm. Which is just how we do it. I mean, you always have the honor when we play together, so.
Did we ever, establish that, or is it just something that's I'm a very fast golfer.
I would say impatient at times, but.
I'd say you're a little deliberate at times.
It's just, if we're roughly in the same spot and I'm away, I just know you want to go, so I just let you go, basically. And I'm fine with that.
And as a team, especially, that makes sense, where it's like, I play better when I'm playing faster, period.
Yeah.
But, yes.
So anyway, it works out perfectly, because the way we talked about it, and we want you teeing off on 11, give me, the line you take and the drives you hit there, on average, much, much better than mine. It would give us a huge advantage. And we're just going to go from there. 3:30 right now. Word on the street is that the playoffs not starting for another 2 hours. There's dinner. I don't know if that's actually going to be the wait. I wish it was right away, but it's not. So we're just going to have to... What's the plan here?
I don't know. I don't know. We're going to...
I mean, I'm sure everybody's going to be on the range in the 20 minutes before it starts.
I think we're no matter how long it is, I feel like there's going to need to be a little warm-up again.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be so soon. Unlike my normal range, I'm just going to hit... I'm going to be ripping drivers, trying to groove that 11T shot. 11T is a little scary because I take that line and I think I've hit it out of bounds twice.
In like 200 rounds.
In like 200 rounds, but it is weird where it's just like, I could.
Yeah.
It's like if you pull it a little bit,
But I'm going to say this, I don't know if this helps or not, like, I like those odds. Like,
oh yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
I'm taking, and I'm going to,
that's the line
I'm
to
going
take.
to determine, I'm not going to adjust my strategy based on the situation.
Right.
And so I tend to cut my driver a little bit more. So I actually aim, and I've never seen anyone do this on 11 fully. A lot of people take it out right and kind of draw it over everything. Because I cut the ball, I aim at the left side of the, I aim almost up the, the out of bounds line and let it cut. And I trust myself to do that.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen these next few hours, but I'm proud of us.
I am too.
We played some freaking good golf, and we got the little chip. We won the flight. Now we got to get the big chip.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's get it done.
We went inside to the restaurant and ordered lunch and took our time eating it. We reminisced about our past experiences in member guest shootouts, and eventually, after all the flights had finished their matches and all the points were counted, it was time to decide a winner. The shootout would start on hole 11, with 5 teams playing 11, 12, 17, and 18. One team eliminated each hole. But before that happened, the wildcard team would be decided on hole 10 between the 3 highest non-flight winners. Adam and I weren't really paying attention to that. Instead, we were getting our wives and his kids situated in a golf cart to watch the shootout. But when the dust settled on the 10th green, the last team standing was friend of the show, Jim Barnett, and his buddy Tuck from the 3rd flight. A few minutes earlier, at the end of Adam's range session, I recorded his last driver swing.
Adam's loosening up with driver here. How you feeling?
Feel good. We got the tee shot on 11.
Yep.
Can't miss left on 11.
Can't miss left on 11.
But I've missed a couple left, but I'd say 8 out of 10 have been right where we want them.
I love that. Hey, last words for you before we do this. I think you know what they are.
Tell me.
Enjoy your life. With every swing, take your time, easy swing, enjoy your life with this whole experience, no matter how it turns out.
We're going to remember this.
Yeah.
We're going to remember this day.
Yeah.
So let's enjoy it.
Let's do it.
If you're listening to this show, you probably know what a member guest shootout looks like, so I won't waste time setting the whole scene. 85% of the golfers who played all weekend are now sitting in their carts, watching the action with a drink in one hand and their wallets in the other, hoping their pre-tourney pari-mutuel bets hit. 5 teams, alternate shot, 1 team eliminated each hole. As the first flight winners, Adam would tee off first on this par 4.
What a beauty.
His drive was an absolute gem, rocketing down the left side of the fairway, easily covering the left bunkers. I'd have 120 in or less with my second shot. While Adam's drive was clearly the best of the bunch, there were 3 other good ones hit as well. The team from Flight 4 were the only ones who looked like they might be in trouble off the tee, but they even found theirs as well in the left rough. Their problem ended up being their second shot from the rough, which was topped about 5 yards forward. It was clear they would probably be the team being eliminated on this hole. Everyone had hit by the time it was my turn to play. I had about 115 to a slightly left pin, and I felt good about the number. I took a deep breath and repeated the mantra I had said 100 times already that weekend. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Then I fired.
Good looking shot, Bryan.
Come on, Bryan.
The shot looked good the moment I hit it, and the applause from the carts around the green confirmed the result. We had 16 feet for birdie. Adam would eventually roll it just a couple feet by, and I'd make the putt for par. And when Barney's friend Tuck hit an incredible pitch shot over a bunker, it was confirmed that Flight 4 was eliminated. 4 teams left, headed to hole 12. As you probably know, the alternate shot format means you alternate who tees off on each hole, so it was my turn on the par 5 12th. This tee shot has always fit my eye, probably because the trouble is on the left, in the form of a farm that is out of bounds. Sure, I've pulled a few into the farm over the years, but my typical right miss means that if I don't put a good swing on it, I'm usually just fine over on the 18th fairway. I stepped up and aimed where I usually aim, right down the right side of the fairway, and repeated the mantra under my breath. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life.
Beautiful.
It was a quick tee pickup and a deep exhale. The ball started right on my line, down the right side of the fairway. As we drove up to the ball, I snuck the phone out for a quick recording.
Live audio here. Second hole of the shootout. We are in position 1A. We got here by just doing our job, and we are still doing our
We
job.
both just did our job on the
Yeah.
first hole. I smoked a drive. You hit a great approach shot to like, what, 8 feet?
Yeah, it was like 16 feet.
Oh, 16.
15.
I thought you said something different. I was like, I thought
No,
it
it was
was
5 or 6 paces, so 16 feet. You rolled it by about 3 feet. I tapped it in.
I didn't roll it by 3 feet. I rolled it by 2 feet.
You rolled it by 2 feet. I tapped it in. Check the video.
And now you've just piped one on the par 5 11. And everyone else is short and right. So we are looking back at people in not great positions in all at least 70, 80 yards behind our ball.
Yeah. We're in a good spot, but we still got work to do.
By the time Adam stepped up to play our second shot, we knew that at least one other team was in trouble trying to play out of the 18th fairway. That being said, there's a lot of trouble down around the 12th green, and Adam and I debated about whether or not he should lay up on this par 5 or go for it. I want you to make the swing you feel most confident about, I told him. I want to go for it, Adam said. Our length is part of our advantage. If we lay up, we give some of that advantage away. Totally agree, I said, trying to infuse him with confidence. Truth be told, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted him to do. He had pull-hooked an approach the day before into the penalty area on this hole, albeit with a different club in his hand from a different spot on the hole, but ultimately, I did feel good about him swinging the hybrid and going for the green.
Yeah, beauty.
I'm not sure why I said beauty there, because there was nothing beautiful about it. The swing ended up one-handed. The ball flight peaked maybe 20 feet off the ground. What I should have said was, great miss, because that's exactly what it was. The ball careened down the fairway, actually hit a cart sign, and settled about 45 yards from the green, still in the fairway. Adam told me right away that he was worried mid-swing about the ball being pull-hooked left, and it ended up working out. So it was on me to hit shot 3, and the thing that made this shot so difficult wasn't the pressure other teams were putting on us. At this point we knew a par would definitely advance us, and a bogey probably would as well. What made it difficult for me was that the ball was very much above my feet on a pitch shot that I can sometimes hit fat. I was 45 yards from a front pin, and I moved the low point of my practice swings 8 inches in front of the ball. I stepped up and tried to clip a good one.
It's middle of the green. Good. No, it's good. Oh, go. Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Adam thought it was good right away, but I knew that I had clipped it just a little fat. The bad news was that I had missed the green short. But the good news was that I was only short of the green by a couple of feet, meaning Adam would be putting. Adam stepped up to our fourth shot, and unfortunately he gave this putt just a little too much juice, and it rolled out about 8 feet by. But by the time I stepped up to the 8-footer for par, I knew we'd only need a 2-putt from there because Barney's team was likely being eliminated. I lagged it to 6 inches, and Adam tapped in. We were officially in the top 3. Hole 17 is a par 3 playing just shy of 150 yards. Adam was first to play. He didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. He had accomplished his job. From the tee box, it looked like it was close enough to putt. And when we got up there, we realized it ended up 5 feet short of the green on the left side of the fairway. I would have a touchy downhill putt to a front right pin. I also didn't hate it because it was the best tee shot of the 3, with one group missing left, another group missing right, and a bunker. Kyle was first to play from the left rough. He hit a decent chip, but gave it a little too much pace, and it rolled 15 feet past the pin, just off the fringe. With the team from Flight 2 in the right greenside bunker, I was next to play. I had to make sure the ball rolled out at least 15 feet, so I didn't leave it up on the top shelf, but once it cleared that shelf, it would gain speed downhill and leak a little bit right heading toward the pin. Adam gave me a line that I loved, and I settled over the putt.
Yeah, that's really good, Bryan. No, it's sit. That's good.
It would have been tough for me to do a whole lot better than I did. The putt settled about 6 feet past the hole, leaving Adam with an uphill 6-footer that would have thoughts about falling left as it lost speed. Meanwhile, Travis Good and his son Taylor were working their way toward another shootout finale. I haven't mentioned them by name yet, but not only have they been in this shootout a handful of times over the past 10 years, they also are the defending champions. They won Flight 2, survived to hole 17, and after Taylor put his tee shot in the right greenside bunker, Pops clipped a beautiful sand shot to inside 4 feet. They would likely make par and move on, hopefully with us. When the Flight 3 winners had to settle for a bogey, it was up to Adam to hit the 6-footer and send us to the final hole. A miss would mean a chip off. The stroke was so pure, there was never a doubt. We drove to the par 4 18th, Team Good versus Team Bad Chatter, for the 2025 member guest title. It was still our box and my turn to tee off. Now 18 is not a daunting tee shot with adjacent fairways left and right, but the one thing you can't do is leak just a little bit right into the right rough where there are a handful of trees that can block you out if you're unlucky. Last summer, my buddy Jake Rotelli did just that on his way to shooting a 63 and winning the club championship. It could have potentially been a course record-tying 62, but his drive settled right behind a solitary tree in the right rough, and he had to chip out and settle for a 1-putt par. That exact scenario was on both of our minds as I teed up my ball. I was planning on aiming left and wanted to make sure my hips cleared with a move that I sometimes use to avoid the right miss. Aim a little bit left, Adam said, reading my mind. We just don't want to be blocked out by a tree. I addressed the ball and took a deep breath. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life.
It's fine. Fire away, man. Good job, Bryan.
The reason Adam had said, "it's fine," right off the face was because the drive was a little bit more left than we both had wanted. But like Adam had said, it was fine. It was in the left rough, no trees blocking us out, to a back right pin that was probably going to be around 110, 120 yards away. Travis Good stepped up after me and hit an even better drive to the right side of the fairway. They would end up a few yards closer than us, and we'd be first to play. Adam's approach was similar to my drive. It was fine, but not exactly what we wanted. It had almost gotten to pin high, but he had pushed it a little right, the ball coming to rest about 6 inches into the short rough right of the fringe. The good thing was it was sitting up on the rough and was very puttable. Taylor's approach into 18 was a little fat, and even though he got enough of it to get it onto the front of the green, they would have over 60 feet for their birdie. Before it was my turn to play, His dad Travis hit a decent lag putt, but it ran out of steam quicker than we all thought it would and settled about 10 feet from the hole. They would have that left for par. I'm gonna be honest, I did not feel amazing about the putt I had to hit in this spot. You know, sometimes you know exactly what you need to do and it's just a matter of executing. Other times, you're not even sure exactly what to execute. I typically feel great about chipping shots like these off the green with my pitching wedge, but in this situation, just needing to make sure we walked away with a par, the choice to putt it was clear. 25 feet, through 6 inches of rough and then fringe, and then downhill, and then maybe just a little uphill at the end. A little downhill, but definitely get it there.
Yeah, because it's not going to run away at the end.
Not gonna run away.
Sit.
You can hear Adam saying sit, sit because it came off the face a little hot. I was worried about that first 6 inches of rough and I had given it a little too much. My goal was to leave Adam with 2 feet for par. Instead, I had left him with 6. But it was Team Good's turn to play. They were away with their 10-foot par putt, and as Taylor stepped up, both Adam and I felt pretty strongly that he would make it. Sometimes, you just have that feeling. Considering the circumstances, what a putt. The Goods were in for par, and now Adam had to make a downhill, slightly left to right 6-footer to extend the match to another hole. Inside left edge? Adam asked me. Yeah, I love that, I said, and I did. But honestly, my mind was racing. The whole tournament now hinged on this putt. As I've told Adam before, the dude is a clutch putter. There's no one I'd rather have putting for my team in that moment. But the stakes could not have been higher. I mean, not that the Honeybrook member guest is the Masters or anything, I get that. But when you're in it, you're in it. This was the 49th hole of a weekend where we had played so well to get into that spot. And suddenly a miss meant that it was over and we'd have to settle for second place. I hated that all fell on Adam in that moment, but I also loved it because I believed he would make it. I took a deep breath and watched Adam step into the putt. Nails. He nailed it. I wish I had kept the audio rolling a little bit longer because he got a well-deserved round of applause for at least 10 seconds. After a 4-hole shootout ended in a tie, there was more golf to be played. Back to hole 11, our 50th hole of the weekend. The head pro told us there was a new alternate shot sequence now being started since we were into extra holes, but neither team wanted to change up their lineup. Adam and Taylor would hit the tee shots on 11, just as they had done to start the shootout 1 hour and 14 minutes earlier. And just like that first drive, Adam piped another beauty into the fairway, this time on the right side. Taylor stepped up and did the same, though not quite as far as Adam, so they would be first to play. Live audio from sudden death, extra holes.
It's crazy. This is so much fun. This is insane.
Adam just hit a sick putt to extend the match, and then a beautiful drive. We're going to be second to play, but both drives are really good, so we got to stay sharp, but yeah, this is so much fun. Travis was first to play, and his approach was another solid one to the right side of the green. They would have maybe 50 feet or so for birdie. The pressure was back on me. I loved the number I had the first time we played 11 in the shootout, and though this shot was going to require one extra club, I love this one too. I had 125 yards into a pin just left of center. I aimed for the middle of the green and addressed the ball. Enjoy your life. your life. The shot immediately came out further left than I wanted, causing me to involuntarily wince and crouch for a second. The ball was headed to the left side of the green, which is blocked from sight by the bunker guarding the front left. I knew it had enough to clear that bunker, but I was worried there was a chance it might have too much. The ball landed and there really wasn't any applause, which slightly surprised both of us, though I did hear one patron say, okay. We jumped in the cart and drove up. I think it's okay, I said. Yeah, I thought so too. I'm not sure why nobody clapped, Adam said. When we finally got greenside, we could see that the ball was, in fact, okay. It was sitting in the left fringe, about 25 feet from the hole. Taylor was first to putt, and he hit a really good one, lagging the 50-footer about 3 feet past the hole. Travis's par putt was no gimme, as it would want to slide left to right, but Taylor couldn't have done much better. Adam and I looked over his birdie putt, but there wasn't really anything mysterious about it. It was a little uphill, moving pretty good left to right. The difficulty wasn't in the read, it was all in the execution. How about I just make it? Adam said. Well, I just want to make sure we get in for par, I said, but yeah, go ahead, make it. I watched from behind him as he addressed the ball.
Oh, it hopped on.
As you might have heard him say there, it hopped on him in the fringe, and the putt came up about 4 feet short. It was a good enough effort though, and it left me a fairly straight up the hill 4-footer that I would need to make for par that would likely get us to another playoff hole. The goods coin was just inside of ours and not exactly on the same line. We would be first to play. Dead center with pace or just a little left? I asked Adam. Maybe just a little left, he said. It's gonna wanna fall right, so you have to keep the pace up. Yeah, I like that, I said. I'll split the difference between the inside left edge and the center. I aligned the line on my ball, and he confirmed that he liked it. I stepped over it, thinking only about giving it enough pace that it would hit the back of the cup.
Yes.
Attaboy, Bryan.
Whew. It was a good putt, there was never a doubt, and we were in for par. We stepped back to watch Travis hit his 3-footer for par, and my mind went to the 12th tee box about 50 yards away. I was going to need to hit another good one on that par 5 to give Adam a look to the green, and I felt confident that I had it in me. But then, Travis hit his par putt, and he didn't hit it hard enough on the line he chose, and it slid right by the front of the cup and settled 3 inches away. And just like that, it was over. We had just won the Honeybrook member guest. We were stunned. We hated the miss for Travis, but we couldn't have been happier with the overall result. We did it. We did it. We won the member guest. We shook a bunch of hands. I hugged my wife Erica and started tearing up a little because I'm a big softie. We got some pictures. We reveled in the glow for a minute. And then all of a sudden we were the only ones left on the 11th green.
What did you just say?
I said we actually won.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
We came in last place in a member guest 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we came to Honeybrook and won the member guest.
Yeah. By playing really good golf.
We did.
For
in the playoff, we played really good.
50 holes.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot to process, but
a lot of money to count.
dude, you played so good, man. You
played great.
You were nails. You were nails. That putt
Holy
on
cow.
18 to extend it.
Jeez.
Absolute nails.
That was unbelievable.
Wow. So good.
All right.
All right. Let's
go collect a trophy.
Let's go collect a trophy.
So that's the story of the 2025 member guest season. From dead last in points earned at the Media Heights event to winning it all 2 Saturdays later at Honeybrook. It hasn't even been a week, so I'm still processing it all, and I'm sure Adam and I will talk about it more in a future episode. But I think the 2 biggest things I'll take from this month is that you just never know when something special is going to happen out on a golf course. It's maybe my favorite thing about the game. If you're healthy enough to play, you're fortunate enough to have friends to tee it up with and the time to do it, just get out there and play. Ride the lows and enjoy the highs because you never know what's going to happen. And as for the other takeaway, well, it goes back to the mantra Adam gave me before we ever hit a tee shot on this event. Enjoy your life. I don't know how long it will last as a swing thought because, as we all know, those things tend to expire before we realize it. But I do think this one has some staying power for me personally. It's a great way for me to pay attention to my tempo and be present on every swing. But even more than that, it's a pretty great life thought too. As Adam and I were finishing lunch, awaiting the shootout, and talking about past shootout experiences, I was recounting to him the 3rd place finish that Tyler and I had in the 2019 Honeybrook member guest. We had survived the first shootout hole, and then on hole 2, after Tyler had piped a great drive, I hit what I have since referred to as my favorite golf shot of my life. With 2 other groups in trouble off the tee, I knew that landing my approach on the green would get us into the money as one of the final 3 groups moving on. This was 5 months before my son Parker would pass away, and he was actually working at Honeybrook that day. And because I had made the shootout, they let him take a card out and join the gallery of 50 players watching the finale. I knew he was in the crowd behind the second green when I hit that 100-yard approach shot, and after the round, I asked him about it. It landed pretty close to the hole, he told me that night, and I thought it was going to bounce to the back of the green, but it had so much spin, it just took a little hop and sat there at about 8 feet. Everyone oohed and awed. It was awesome. I'll never forget that golf shot and that conversation. And in the wake of losing Parker, one thing that Eric and I have tried to do, as hard as it has been at times, is to enjoy our lives. This broken world has taken so much from us, but there is still so much to be grateful for. We cling to our faith, our family, and our friends. And yes, we even cling to the simple joys in life, like vegging on the couch together, playing with our granddaughter Rowan, and even celebrating a weekend where you tee it up with one of your good friends, you both play well, you catch a little lightning in a bottle, and you win it all. So maybe that's my takeaway for us and for you too. Slow down a little, be present, and enjoy your life. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast, and special thanks to the staff at Honeybrook for putting on an awesome member guest this year. Also, check out our merch store by clicking the store link at bagchattergolf.com. We're trying to get rid of inventory we have left, so you can save 50% on your entire order when you order 3 or more things using the code SUMMER50. That's SUMMER50. Be sure to check out that Golfer's Journal piece I mentioned last episode in upcoming issue number 33. And of course, again, thank you so much, all of you, for listening to the podcast. We'll be back in a few weeks with episode 9.